Hello, my crafty creatures. It is. It is the start of another interesting, I don't want to say wonderful, but it's the start of another interesting day. Whew. I gotta love it when life catches up to me. It's great having a 2-week buffer until that 2 weeks comes to call. So today we are working on finishing, well, we're not finishing anything today. We're working on medium-sized colors on this page. I'm about to get done color 336, wherever I put that. Oh my goodness, there. And then I'm just going down the line numerically. Is 336, and then we're doing 517, and then we're going to laugh at the dogs because they seem to think that their life is terrible. Oh my goodness. Aiming for 10% by the end of the year, which I do think we will hit because we are already at 9.76. So we'll hit 10% by the end of the year. I think honestly we're gonna hit 28,000 today because we're at 29.9. Absolutely, I totally agree. Like laughing at the dogs is I would lean more towards like 75% of the fun. So today has been interesting. Like I because it's been sub-zero temperatures and we heat with the wood stove, I start work later in the day. I've been the one getting up in the middle of the night to stoke the stove, toss a couple more logs in to ensure that the pipes don't freeze. And mind you, if it gets super duper duper cold, we do have space heaters to make sure the pipes don't freeze. It's no big deal. I mean, a lot of people make it sound way more dramatic than it actually is. And so I got up at 3 to feed the stove, and I slept until 8, which is actually kind of a rarity for me. Generally, I'm up with husband creature at 6:30 after getting home at 11 at night. But when I have to wake up in the middle of the night and upset my sleep schedule, I sleep a little later in the day. Not much later though, because you guys got to put up with me. But so the dogs were like, "You need to be awake because we need to be fed," and we've Pavloved them to think of me as the morning food giver because they were waking husband creature up at like 5 in the morning, because they thought he was going to feed them. So we've switched targets to me. So, and I was like, nope, you're not starving. So they think they think they are horribly abused right now. They've been fed, by the way. They've been fed. They've had their outs. They're good for the next whole 2 hours that I plan on ignoring them. Best I can, because we all know that the creatures of the creature household demand the attention. I'm just trying to figure out where I am because I'm closing out 336. I'm almost done the color. I was cross-stitching a little earlier today, and I'm almost done 336, which I started yesterday and was almost done, but then I was like, yo, I'm out. And I did get all my chores done. I got enough chores done yesterday that today I have no chores to worry about other than getting wood out of the basement so I can keep the house warm. You know, vegan food is getting better. I have no problems with eating vegan. I have no problems with eating vegetarian. It's not my lifestyle choice, but if in a situation, it's kind of like eating gluten-free. Is it's not my choice. Wasn't my choice to eat gluten-free either, folks. For anyone trying to be judgy pants, not my choice. Celiac disease was not my choice. Another like disease that I was like, I'm gonna get papered for this. I gotta love how celiac disease is its own, like they're like in the States there's like, are you disabled, and they give a list. One of those parts of that list is like digestive disorders like IBS, Crohn's, stuff like that. But celiac disorder has its own category, its own section. And because a lot of people don't realize that celiac disorder, if not treated, can give you signs like it can make you hallucinate. It can't, because it will slowly kill you through malnutrition. So it gets its own disability category. So it's definite, and I didn't even know the depths of what celiacs could do, until I, funny enough, watched the Mr. Ballin podcast where he was telling a scary story about a girl who thought like everything was out to get her, and they couldn't figure out what was wrong, and then they finally discovered that she had celiac disorder, and I'm like, fuck that. Gluten-free for life, whether I like it or not. But yeah, so I like food. Oh, ad break all time already? Jeez. I know a couple of you have subscriptions, so you don't get the ad breaks. I am quite literally almost done this color, which makes me pleased, because then I can work on another color. Unfortunately, I feel that I will have to be tackling 939 here soon, so makes me a sad panda, because there's just so much of this color. Luckily, I won't have to grab another big piece of string to finish out the color. That makes me happy. Nope. Top half of this corner. Woo. Is it? Okay. There we go. Okay, so we already have a color finish for the day of 336. So woo, color finish. And honestly, I made the executive decision like 3 minutes before hopping on that I'm just going down numerically for the colors. At least in the middle section of the either or. It can be either on stream or alone. I have plenty of alone colors, so mostly because I haven't been cross-stitching as much when I'm off camera. I should, but I haven't been. But with winter settling in, there's a good chance that it will happen more. doke. This is our next color, 517. It's funny because so I use this on another cross stitch. I use this on my Portland frog cross stitch. And as you can see, it's going low. So before stream, the color I was looking for was 517. So I had to get into the giant container of doom, and I found it. But the giant container of doom is next level. But it's well organized, unlike many other things in this cross stitch. Oh, so update on lady who wants me dead at work. Now, mind you, I don't think she has it in her, but I wouldn't put it past her. It's kind of like me. It's like, oh, Ra's generally homos, which is absolutely true. Do I want people dead? Not particularly, mostly because it's just too much effort. But at the same time, I'm not gonna put it past anybody, because everything is possible. So my boss did read my note that I wrote, thankfully, which I totally appreciate. And she's like, so here's what's gonna happen, because we can't keep you off the first floor. And I'm like, that's fair. I never said I wanted to be off the first floor. This lady does not want me on the first floor. So we're doing some switcheroos and accommodations and all that fun stuff. So I did most of the first floor yesterday, just not that area where that lady lives. I don't know why I say that. I have so many questions for myself. Probably because it was a smaller cross stitch. I'll use it. I'll use it! Okay. 336 is all done. There is no time for 517. Now, mind you, almost all the colors that I'm working on now are strips in this ear. Like, it's just all shading in the ear, save for 939, which is this. Let's see if I can. The dark blue. Whoops. Oh my god. There we go. This dark blue here is 939, and that's what all of this space is going to be. And I just don't feel like doing it right now. So that is why we are where we are. Just fighting with getting the needle threaded. I will eventually start stitching. Maybe. Either stitching or talking. That's what we do. Okay. I gotta find the top of the ear again. At least this time I have a clump to line it up with. And 4 more out of diagonal. Okay. So that was one BFF. Ooh. I think Kelpie like fell asleep on us. As I was talking, they were talking, and then all of a sudden, talking stopped. Either that or nope, my microphone's working, so that can't be it. What's on the menu for today? I lost myself. So I got an email this morning from a job I applied for. And they're like, hey, can you take these assessments? I hate job assessments. And I looked, and I was like, okay. And I took them, and I'm not sure how I did, but I took them. Something wild and crazy going on behind these stitches because I'm having issues stitching them. Oh, trash truck is coming by. I can hear him. Oh, down the street behind me. Putting that right there. I think I'm gonna be getting a lot of colors done today. Well, not a lot, but a few. Just because, like, that's where we're at in the page. Like, I have a whole lot of little colors left that are like 1 or 2 stitches that will just be a pain in my tuchus. And I have the colors that I'm working on now, which are there's not a lot of them, but they're not big colors. And then I have my dreaded enemy, my nemesis, 939. And I'm pretty sure if I focused, I could get a page finish by the end of the year. There's that whole focus part that keeps flubbing me up. There's a 3. Here's 3, and then right there. It really does. That's why I'm not horribly concerned. I would like to hit 10%. That would be more than amazing. Because I only had a year-end goal of 9.5, but we hit that. So 10% is where I'm aiming. Focusing is much easier with meds, which are just now starting to kick in, which is nice. Oh, it is a whole 1 degree. So it is, let's see, it's 0 at 32. So it's it's negative 31 Celsius. If I can math correctly, which don't trust me on that, folks. But yeah, it's a whole 1 degree outside. My house is kind of chilly, but I also have, okay, so I have my holiday unicorn blanket. That's my holiday unicorn blanket. I'm very festive. It keeps me nice and warm. But my normal one is all nice and clean, my normal creature blanket. Yes. Yes, that feels right. But I got yesterday, while it was still all nice and fluffy, I got the driveway shoveled. I got the porch shoveled off, so that was all good. Yeah, my only chore after stream today is to hop in the basement and pull wood out so it can get a little. It got thrown in there after a lot of rain. So it's a little damp. So pulling it out to dry it off next to the wood stove. But I got a nice bit of coals going, so it's going. I mean, my house is not t-shirt weather house. Like, you have to wear a hoodie in my house. Like, I'm sorry. It's just how it is. But that's why we have my blanket. That's why I love blankets, honestly, because legit in the winter, which is most of the year, I curl up with my blankets. I have the void here that when I'm just sitting watching videos, I wrap the void around my arms. I have like 3 blankets in the chair behind me. Like, I will never say no to blankets because I nest. Well, and your Bangor is spelled the same way. But there's Bangor, and then there's Bangor, Washington. and no, I wrap myself in the void. I live there. You guys can stare at the void. I'm a void creature. I'm an anomaly. I'm the most dangerous of the Lovecraftian creatures. I look harmless. Actually, that makes me giggle because one of the assessments I took this morning was like a personality assessment. Like, it's like I can tell, I know how to make people feel good. Now, a lot of these I'm pretty neutral on because it was situation based. Like, can I be a leader? Absolutely, but it depends on the situation. Um, like, and I know that the assessments don't like a whole lot of like spikes where like it's very, very accurate that I am a cheerful person. I'm like, most of the time I'm a cheerful person. Like, I would give myself 95% of the time I am hands down legitimately cheerful. That other 5%, I'm still cheerful, but I'm kind of cranky about it. I do have a personality. I have a great personality. You just got to get through the bullshit. You got to get through the mask. You're gonna need more. You're gonna need better tools than that. And I can tell. I can like. I've taken so many of those assessments that I can tell people. Let's see. I forget the letters, but let me whip out my encyclopedia of what's my personality. So the 16 Myers-Briggs bullshit, I am. Let me whip it out. I am the INFJ. Um, It's one of the rarer times. But yeah, I've taken several different types of the Myers-Briggs, and I always come out to INFJ. Always. That is my personality type if we're gonna go by that regulating bullshit thing. um of course we're fine. Have to move the thing. Yeah. The 517 is just a little. It's a solid, just a row down this white path here. It fills in the spots, and it makes me happy. But yeah, all of the colors are just, they're all pretty. It's just like one stripe down around the ear. Tomorrow there's no stream, but I'll be out and about in the wide world of out and aboutness. Mostly so I can get dog food. That's the main reason I'm going out and about tomorrow, is the dogs need the foods. I have the best emotional tools ever. Patience and a shoulder to for you to lean on. I like to tell people I am the epitome of support staff. I like to be behind the scenes, I like to be organized, and I like to have the person I'm representing be prepared and confident in what they are doing. I like quiet thank yous. I do not like being called out in public. I would much prefer you show me that you're grateful for what I have done by either, like for me, giving me time off or allowing me freedoms. And what I mean by that is, like, at my current job, I am allowed, when I am not doing things, to just kind of exist, to sit, if I need to get some yayas out, I always have like a craft project or a game on a game on my phone, and that I don't get too much bullshit from utilizing those tools, because I do my job. I do my job well. I show up for other people. Those are the kinds of thank yous that count for me. Or time off. And in that same breath of air, respecting when I am on my off time, which some people understand, but other people don't. Like last night, one of our third shifters is like, I really need some extra shifts. I need to have some money for Christmas. And I look her dead in the eye and I go, look at what shifts I have. Take what you want, because I have to get down to under 120 hours of vacation time before the end of the year, or else whatever I have over 120 hours is going to be tossed. I had 210. I burned 80 to be paid out. So I still am over a little bit. Not much, but I'm still over a little bit. And I'd prefer to be under, because it just starts accumulating again next year. And I've been there for it'll be 3 years at the end of January. And so I'm like, pick a shift and I will take vacation time and you can have my shift. So that's the kind of thing that's how you show me appreciation, is just letting me do my own thing, is giving me that freedom. I did your tricks. I performed your tasks. Now leave me the fuck alone. That is the easiest way to praise me. That is the easiest way to make me feel grateful and appreciated. And the quiet thank yous as well. It's like, hey, thank you for doing this. I don't need a big show of it. I need the quiet thank you and the action showing that you actually do appreciate what I did. I had one lady last night. She's like, "You are always busy." I'm like, "Well, I try to be. Like, I'm here at work. I'm trying to make sure that everything gets done." And she's like, "Well, I can tell. I can tell you're always busy." I'm like, "Oh, thanks." And sometimes when you leave me to my own devices, cool things come of it. Like my previous job, we were able to keep hiring and training people because when I was left alone, I was digitizing the entire department. Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Oh, so yesterday, um, in the morning, husband creature was throwing some stuff out because we keep our trash outside of the living area just because the dogs are assholes. And he goes outside and there's a bird in our addition. Now, this isn't a surprise because there's holes in the floor. Um, and so he's like, "Well, there's a bird outside. I'm just gonna leave the door open and hope it figures itself out." And it wouldn't have. It was flying up against the window because they can see through the window. So I went over and I gently got the bird. Um, and it was a little finch. It wasn't a blue jay. That would have been fun. I've been like, "Go tell Pocket, go tell Pocket our minion's an idiot." But it was a little finch. What kind of finch? I don't know. Uh, but I got it all out of my house and everything like that, and it flew off and it chirped in appreciation, and then for the rest of the day it danced in front of one of my cameras, which was incredibly adorable. It would land in front of the camera and it would poof itself up and then it would fly off. um, but it reminds me that I have to go fill my bird feeders. Maybe that's the other thing I can do today is bundle up and go fill my bird feeders. Oh my goodness. I also have to super glue my nail today because I have a, let's see if I can, it cracked in a very inconvenient spot, so I have to super glue it so I don't keep getting it caught. It See, and that's the thing is how it is right now. It doesn't hurt, but I need it to stay where it is so it doesn't get worse. And with my luck, if I don't glue it, it will get worse. You had wisdom teeth out, correct? Yep. Yeah, yeah, I feel that. I I had all four of mine out all at the same time. I was 16. I had all of my brace. I had full mouth of braces, and that is where I learned. As a type 1, I have to have all surgical, inpatient or outpatient, done within. If it requires me to be incapacitated, I have to have it done in a hospital, because if my sugars do anything, a hospital is equipped to take care of it, whereas most other facilities are not. So if I'm incapacitated, I have to be in a hospital. Fun fact. Luckily, I learned it early enough in my life that my my top ones had S roots going into my sinuses, and my bottom ones actually were growing horizontally. And and were wrapped around my jaw nerve. So they needed to come out. And part of the reason I got braces in the first place was my mouth was too small. And I know, anyone who really knows me is like, what? Your mouth was too small? What? Yes. Mm-hmm. But I remember waking up like I've been knocked out a few times. Because let's see, knocked out for my wisdom teeth, knocked out for an upper endoscopy the first time to get my celiac diagnosis, knocked out a second time to figure out why I was having trouble swallowing and discovered the hiatal hernia. I think, yeah, those are, yeah, I think those are the only times I've only been knocked out 3 times. But I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Baby When the Lights Go Out. Oh my goodness. I'm almost done this color. I think, well, let me look. I got 10 lines left. Got 10 lines left in this color. At least I think. Let me make sure there are no outliers. No little flecks or stars. No. I got 10 lines left in this color on the page. Then we'll just go down to the next color. I love this little foot thing that Dragon got me because I can set my feet at weird angles and it doesn't hurt. Why are my phone is going bananas and I don't feel like looking at it. So let's see if I can. Okay, my phone's being a pain in the ass. Oh well. It can be over there. I'm not expecting anything. It's not, and I like it when I don't have my slippers on. It's cold, so I have my slippers on. But when I don't have my slippers on, it's also very comfortable. So I am pleased. I don't sit with wonky leg positions. I sit with wonky foot positions. Which I guess in turn turns into wonky leg positions. But I legitimately think with getting this color done, I will hit 10%, which will be like a small party and a half. So part of the joys of having a very large chronic illness is your parents get to traumatize you as a teenager. And so the only thing growing up that I remember before I was diabetic was that diabetes can take your feet. I don't remember even who it was, but my mom was like, oh, yep, they lost their foot because they didn't take care of their diabetes and diabetes, however you want to say it. And that's all I remember. That is all I remember about the disease before I actually had it. So when I got it, of course, my parents were like, oh, you got to take care of your feet. You got to take care of your feet. And now that I work with now that I work in the senior population, I'm like, guys, you got to take care of your feet. Like, I say it to everybody though, because it's important. And for me, I'm very rarely barefoot. Even in my own house, where I know what's on the floor like 99% of the time, I have hard bottom. I used to love going barefoot, by the way, but I have hard bottom shoes. Now in the summer, I have flip-flops that I wear around the house because it's close to being barefoot without being barefoot. And I mean, that's just how life is. As weird as it sounds, that's just how life is these days. Like I've never had an instance where it's like, nope, I'm not gonna put something on my feet. Oh, I have monkey feet. I can use my feet as like I don't have long toes, like I have very small feet, but I can still utilize my toes to grab stuff. Like I can use my toes to take off my socks. I can pick up stuff off the floor with my toes and give it to my hand. Like my feet are useful, but I almost always have something on them because of my trauma. Like I can turn a doorknob like a normal doorknob with my feet. Like I have done that. I've done that with shoes on, but the grippy bottom of shoes really helps there. Well, I've noticed that a lot of people who flock to me have some level of trauma. It's not like a flex or anything like that. It's just I get it. I really do. Like I was telling my best friend the other day because she was she was she was venting. She needed a vent, and she was venting. And I told her, I'm like, you are like the only human being who has heard the full depth of my trauma. Now, I'm not saying anybody here, because I love you guys, but you have not paid the decades of time to have the full depth of my trauma pools. And I don't expect any of that from you guys either. So, but this person literally has been by my side for almost 30 years. And she is the only one who knows the full depth of my trauma that hasn't tried to make it about them. And if you guys have a person like that in your life, like, you consider yourself very lucky, because even my own mother heard the full depth of my trauma and tried to make it about her. So if you have someone who hears your trauma and doesn't try to make it about them, probably because they already have enough. That's what she told me. She's like, I already have enough. I don't need yours. And I'm the same way. Is you can have your trauma. I respect it. I probably feel it. But it is your trauma. I do not want it. Take it. But having someone like that in your life is very important, because a lot of people try to take your trauma and make it about them, and that does not help your trauma. So we were talking about that, and I'm like, girl, thank you for not trying to make it about me, you. and she's like, same. So we both had a dark laugh about that. But I attract people who need that, and I love that trait about myself, because I will listen, but I do not want. It is yours. You process it how you need to process it. I will not take any credit. I'll try to relate to you best I can, and chances are I can. But your trauma is yours. I'm not going to say, hey, no, that didn't happen, because I've heard some fucked up shit in my life about what other humans I've seen, read, and felt the fucked up shit that other humans can do to each other. So your trauma, I will always believe what happened to you happened to you. Because oh, I hate the pissing contest. It's like, no, it's not a pissing contest. Like, yeah. And sometimes I trauma dump just so I am heard. When I was little, I used to do that. Like, I used to just tell my story so people would hear me, and then I learned that people didn't care. Hello? There's a big vehicle somewhere. I'm just not sure where. Because with all the leaves down, I can see almost all of downtown Bangor. So, makes it very hard when there are big trucks in the area. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's it's frustrating. Like, my mom tried to be like, oh, I didn't know this was happening. And then I come to find out later that she did know it was happening, and she just opted to side with the abuser. Everybody, like, and that's the thing, is I can't judge your relationships with anybody else. That's what I'm learning is a unique trait about myself is I don't judge other people's relationships with other people. Like, I might not like someone, but I'm not going to judge you for liking that person. Like, I am my own individual, and if I choose not to like someone, that is my choice. I am a big girl. I can choose not to like people, and it is okay for other people to like that person, with exceptions. And we all know what those exceptions are. But that's the thing, is I am not going to get along with every human being on the face of this planet. Most of them, I can just walk away and ignore. Some of them need to be bitch slapped before I can walk away and ignore them. But most of those ones I can't actually put my hands on. So that's a pipe dream. But it's okay. I want everybody to hear this and take it into their soul. It's okay if someone doesn't like you. For whatever reason, it's okay. They're not your person. Not your person. It's okay. I tell myself this every day because I don't necessarily need people to like me, but I like them to be at least tolerant of my existence so they don't make it uncomfortable. And that's how I try to treat my outside interactions, is I don't have to like you 100%. If I like you at 80%, we're golden, we can get the job done. Anything less than that, it starts to get weird. And I can make it weird. I'm really good at making it weird. Sometimes other people enjoy me making it weird, which gets into a whole nother level. Okie doke, 519 is all done. I'm gonna hit the check mark and see where we're at for percentage. I'll move down to, I think 803 is the next color, honestly. I don't know. I'll have to look. And I like getting along and working with people. Like, do I always want to do it? Absolutely not. Absolutely fucking not. But it is okay to only like people during certain. See, and it's a weird balance because do I want people to like me? Absolutely. Absolutely. Hands down, I'm not gonna lie. I want people to like me, but if you don't, I respect that. And that's something that I think this world needs a little bit more of, is it's okay if someone doesn't like you. That's fine. That's fine. It's fine. But there has to be like a sub-level of respect. And I'm not talking like, oh, you have to like worship the ground that they walk on. Being cordial is enough, unless they prove otherwise. And again, exceptions, there are always exceptions to all of these rules. And that's what makes being a people hard. That's what makes peopling hard, is there's always exceptions to the rules. But, for the most part, basic human decency. But, again, that has changed in this day and age, and all the shenanigans and the bullshit. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, is if someone shows however they express themselves that no, respect it. You can spend your energy on someone who actually wants to learn about you, spend time with you, have fun, laugh. Laughing is very important. I always try to bring a smile. Like, that's my daily goal with everybody. Is going out into the world and at least making one person chuckle, even if it's a self-depreciating at my expense joke. Making people chuckle is always something that I enjoy doing. I like being serious, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I like bringing a little bit of joy into the world because we got enough darkness going on. We got plenty of darkness going on. I like a good old-fashioned chuckle. Now I gotta put this string away. Ah, this year, there's been so many changes this year. Like coming in towards the end, it's like I've made so much progress here on stream. I've made so much progress in my personal life. My my crafting life has made progress. Like it's not the huge leaps and bounds I potentially had hoped for, but I've made progress. And ad break gives me time to mark things up and switch over colors and do the hokey pokey, and you turn yourself around. Size 17 the color of that? Nope. Okay. Okay, 336 and 517. Two colors done today. Woohoo! Yeah, and 803 is the next color. I'm totally avoiding 939 at this point. 803. Oh, is it this color? Maybe? Nope. 803. I'm gonna have to find, probably gonna have to find more 803. I was not prepared. So this is a pretty narrow color, but it has jumpy spots. Jumpy spots. Doopy-doo. Put that there. Okay, I have this weird little piece. Let's see. Is there any awkward loner? Funny enough, there are. Okay, where did I stick that needle? I have not sat on any needles today, which is always a good thing. Okay, I have just a small piece that I'm like, I don't want to waste it. I don't want to throw it away, but I don't want to start a big section and then have to deal with it. So I am going over to this area right here. And there are, it's quite literally 3 stitches off in the ass end middle of nowhere. So they're not clumped with anything. They're not near any of the other stitches. So I'm gonna get those 3 stitches, and if I can reach the start of another like small area, then I'll pop in on that. most of this color is just a thin line down in this zone. Because his ear is like 50 billion colors of blue. Okay, not 50 billion, but I mean, there are 89 colors and most of them are shades of blue. Oh, we're at 9.81 right now. Maybe 10% will happen today. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure, but maybe. Oh my goodness. This little piece of string is lasting longer than I thought it would. It's kind of funny. I did crack 28,000 though. Huh? There. Now time to start at the tippy top and work down some weird narrow spots. And hopefully not run out of the color, because I don't really feel like jumping into the bin. I don't think I will. I don't think there's enough of the color to have me jumping into the big bin of doom. I will have to eventually, absolutely. But it doesn't have to be today. I'm gonna work it in sections because there's several little stripies. There's a stripey down here. There's stripies down in here, and there's little clumps down in here. So stripies and clumps. Here we are, starting our adventure. And unfortunately, just because of the nature of how scattered, even though it seems to be in a line, how scattered they are, I do have to, like, every couple of stitches be like, oh hey, I gotta mark this. Just so I don't lose my spot. The colors are all very, very close shaded. So in person, it's really hard to see the difference. I do think at some point next week I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and start 939. I'm genuinely hoping that I don't have too much string left over when I'm done stream today, so that I can just swap over to some of the smaller colors. Because right now the smaller colors are like the purples, the browns and whatnot, to like for the stars that are intertwined in his ears and whatnot. I got distracted. Mhm. Mhm. Definitely stick my needle back up here because I have to do some jumping. There's that. Not some actual jumping, just stitch jumping. One down. A lot of this is just single stitching, filling in a row. Huh? Hey, go right there. Oh. Free. My needle repair. I gotta move my screen. The one area where I generally leave more than enough string to is when when the blues are all matching. So I have to be very careful and make sure I have a half stitch to mark where I was, or I'll lose my spot, and that's how mistakes happen. I love how soft and fluffy my blanket is, even though it's covered in string remnants right now. It's soft and fluffy. Oh, now I gotta find that. Now I gotta find the half that I just. Sometimes that can be. There's that. Oh. I have a very bored dragon. I think once I get done this row, I'm gonna call it a day. Or this little squiggle line that I'm almost to the bottom of, I think. Gotta move my screen to see if I have any more down. I think I do. Kind of weird if I didn't, but oh, I do. Mhm. This might time out perfectly. Okay, on the home stretch for today. If my hands would work today, dude. Okay. Okie doke. Okay. Highlight and then hit the check mark. Okay, so went from 976 today, and we are now at 9.83%. closer and closer to 10%. Got 235 stitches done today. And we're just going to call it a day. I didn't get done color 803, but that's very close to being done. I will not be on tomorrow, but I will be on for my long stream Thursday. It might just be a normal length stream, but I'm aiming for a long stream since Thursdays have been my really awful day to even exist. But I thank everybody. Well, that's good. That's good that she has no ear infection and that her throat looks good. There's just some sort of nasty cold going around. But I want everybody to have a fantastic day. Drink your water, take your meds. My dogs are going to start going crazy. Be kind to yourself without harming others. Be kind to others without harming yourself. And remember, time is the best gift you can give. It is non-refundable. So thank you for the gift of your time. And I will see everybody on Thursday. I love you all.